Do not register for CXC May June 2025 examination until you listen to this. This is very important because each applicant only have one application that will be considered. So you do not want to get this wrong. All right, so the application process began on the 1st of October and will end on the 14th of October 2024. Applications must be completed online. There's no physical application in the ministry. So you have to do it online, right? So no hard copies, no physical copies at all. Now, only one application will be processed. That is why you want to make sure you do the correct thing when registering. Because if you do your first application wrong and you want to redo your application, then you will not get through to write the exams if you do the incorrect thing, because only the first application that you do, whether you did it incorrectly or correctly, will be processed. And if it's wrong, you will not get through to write in January. So that's why I want you all to keep watching and pay close attention to the important details. To complete your application, you must first check to determine if payment is required. So some persons or candidates who will be writing in January 2025 will not have to pay, or they have a free chance while others don't. So to identify whether you have to pay or not, keep watching. So if payment is required, applicants must obtain the deposit vouchers at the nearest education district office, then proceed to make payments at any district revenue office. So in other words, for persons who will have to pay, and I'll go through a list of what the ministry identify as persons who have to pay in a bit, you have to go to the Ministry of Education to collect the deposit vouchers. There are two of them. And then once you collect that from the Ministry of Education in your area, then you go to the Ministry of Finance, Inland Revenue in your district to pay. That's for persons who have to pay. But remember, again, everyone do not have to pay. So let's see who will have to pay. So fees payable. So non-nationals, if you are a foreigner living in the country, you have to pay all fees. For nationals, Trinidadian and Tobagonian born persons, those of you who will have a free chance. So one free chance is offered to either CAPE or CXC, not one to each. So in other words, well, let me go through the options here. Candidates are entitled to one free chance after their initial sitting at the end of Form 5. So in other words, if you wrote CXC in Form 5 and you never repeat, you have a free chance. Therefore, you do not have to go in the Ministry of Education to collect any vouchers. You just have to go and complete the online registration, and that will be free for you because you have one free chance. So it doesn't matter if you wrote in Form 5 in 2024, 2023, any of the past years. Once you never rewrite and you're going to write over your exam for the first time, you only have to do the online registration because you have a free chance. Also, adults who have never attempted CXC examination before, meaning you never wrote CXC at all, you all have a free chance as well. So you just have to use the registration link for January 2025 exams and register online. Candidates who attend private schools may utilize the one free chance at the end of their final year. So if you go in a full-time private school, or it could be a part-time private school as well, you only have that one free chance to use. right? So all requisite fees must be paid, however, should examination be attempted before the final year. So in other words, if you attempted the exam, let's say you were in a private school and you supposed to write in May, June, but you attend the exam in January, that January would have been a free chance, therefore for May, June, you have to pay. Candidates who attend public schools at present, so that's like normal secondary schools, and are registering for a subject that they are registered to sit through in school in May 2025 are required to pay all payable fees. So in other words, if you are in Form 4 going in Form 5 and you want to write in January upcoming, that will be your free chance, right? Candidates who apply to sit in January while registered to sit March through the school in June 2025. So in other words, if you write in January, that will account, or one of them will account for your free chance and the other one will be paid. Another option is candidates who are homeschooled, right? Their parents have them at home and they are schooled at home, or they're doing online classes from home, can access their one free chance at their first sitting of CXC. So that's if you never write in high school, you never wrote in Form 5 at all, and you are going to write exam for the first time as a homeschool child, you have one free chance. Candidates who have already used their one free chance must pay all requisite fees. So if you rewrite this year and you use your free chance or last year or whenever, regardless of if you have a repeater one, so you doing it again, an adult or even a teenage repeater, but once you are certain that you use your free chance and you don't fall under any of the above that is considered free for this January, then you will have to pay. So it said, please know that CXC database reveals the examination history of all applicants. So if you go into the ministry and you are not sure whether you have a free chance or not, they can check up your data to see if you use it up or not, right? Candidates eligible to pay fees must upload the payment receipts. If payment receipts are not uploaded, the applicant will not be processed and the candidate will not be registered. So again, if it is you have to pay based on the options that I just read through and you know that's you, make sure and go into the Ministry of Education, collect your deposit vouchers, pay in the Inland Revenue in your district. When you get those two receipts, you have to upload it in the online registration. If you do not upload those receipts and you do an application with all the receipts, your application will not be processed. And remember, you only have one chance to do the correct registration online. Now, I am going to give you all some more instructions so you all will know what to do in terms of the registration process. So at this moment, each person should know whether they have a free chance or not. And if you are not sure, you can either ask someone from your ministry, and some of you could probably ask me as well, but make sure you give an accurate data. So I would be able to refer back to this to tell you which one of them you would fall under in terms of the categories, whether you are free or not for January exam. So some more instructions when completing your online registration. You want to have pictures of the following documents available for upload. So your birth certificate, you must have a photo or a scan copy, also a valid identification card, back and front, of course. You also want the official receipts for the fees paid. That's for people who have to pay. If you do not have to pay, just A and B will apply to you. But if you have to pay, all three of these documentations will be required. The other thing you would do when you are completing your online registration is to proceed to the examination page to complete the online application. That's on the Ministry of Education. Now, we will send out that to our students, and if anybody else requests it, we would also send it to them. Number 5, include the items at 3 above before uploading your application. Right, so that means you want to make sure that you upload those information in the registration form online on the Ministry of Education page. Receive the automatic generated email as confirmation that your application was processed successfully. So in other words, once you did your online application, as long as you follow all the instructions, so if you're free, only the online application. If you have to pay, you had your slips and you did everything correctly, you're supposed to get an automated confirmation via the email that you use to register to confirm that your application went through. It has not yet been processed, but it has been successfully uploaded. And the last thing is only fully completed applications with all necessary documents uploaded can be processed. Right, so a confirmation email does not mean that the application was fully completed. That just means they got your upload. So again, if you do not have to pay and you just have to do option A and B in terms of uploading documents and everything else is correct in the application form, they will be able to process your first application and you will get through for January. Of course, they will send you an email closer to the examination time with a timetable, center number, and those things. On the other hand, for persons who have to pay, you have to make sure you have all three of these uploaded in that registration form online, together with some of your other personal information. There's a few more things for those who have to pay that you want to continue looking on for. But before I do so, in terms of SBAs, so for persons who are rewriting, right, it means that the candidate can reuse an SBA from a former sitting. So an SBA is valid for 2 years. So you can use an SBA for 2 years, and once you're within that time frame of 2 years, you would only be required to resit writing your paper 1 and 2. Now, candidates who wish to reuse SBA marks obtained in May 2023, which was last year, or May 2024 examinations, may select resit. That's when you are doing the online registration. The candidate's name on the entry form must be the same as the name on the past CXC certificate of or the preliminary results. So in other words, what they're saying is whatever name you had, if you got married now and stuff, whatever name you had before, make sure you have that same name on this registration. So candidate must enter their previous candidate number when applying for resit. So if you wrote this year or last year, you make sure you have your candidate number so that you would be able to reuse your SBA once you're within that 2-year period of time. Now, alternative for person, the alternate option for persons who do not have an SBA or that 2 years has expired to reuse their SBA, we have here that alternate means that the candidate has no SBA. Only school candidates can submit SBA, meaning you are within a full-time, usually private or secondary school. Alternate candidate must attempt all paper 1, 2, and paper 3 of 2, which is sometimes just called paper 3. So private candidates writing this subject for the first time and former candidates who do not wish to rewrite their SBA must select alternate. So for those who need to pay, keep looking. Now, in terms of fees for those who have to pay, once you have to pay, you will have to pay your administrative fee of $8. You have to pay a subject fee. So if it's one subject, 142. If it's more than one, well, 142 by 2 or 3. And then you also have a candidate fee, which is paid once. And this is paid one, this is paid per subject. If you're doing Spanish and you have to do orals, you have to pay that $3 as well. So one subject, which will include the administrative fee, subject fee, candidate fee, is a total of $290. For 2 subjects, which will be 142 by 2 are the candidates, and administrative fee will be $442. And so it goes, right? So you all could work out your stuff. So I believe we have come to the end of this short video. If persons want more details, I will link the full documentation that the ministry provided where I got this information from for the examination. So you could go through it to make sure that you get some additional information if you need so. But I have went through the main and key things that you all need to know in order to know whether you need to pay or if you would be free, and also the some important things in terms of uploading which documentation you want to make sure you have ready when you are doing your online part of the registration process.